Have you ever wondered what it takes to unlock the mind of an unshakable Stoic sage? Imagine gaining the power to navigate chaos, conquer your emotions, and turn every silent moment into strength. In this video, you'll discover profound secrets that will guide you to think deeply and master yourself from within. How to think deeply like a Stoic sage, reflective Stoic mindset, compiled and published by Stoic ruler. Lesson 1. Silence the noise within. Imagine standing at the heart of a timeless forest at dawn, where the wind pauses and even the leaves seem to hold their breath. This is the place where the wise learn to listen not just with their ears, but with the depth of their spirit. Silence is not merely the absence of sound, but a rare doorway, a sanctuary, where our truest selves can emerge, unbothered by the confusion of the outer world. Yet stepping into this stillness is no small feat, especially in an age when the mind is lured and battered by endless distractions. We all know this struggle too well. It starts from the moment our eyes open in the morning, assaulted by notifications, schedules, and unwanted worries. There's a relentless river of chatter rushing through our heads. Worries about unfinished plans, old regrets, imaginary futures, and the harsh chorus of self-doubt. In this state, emotional mastery seems impossible. Who can train their mind, impact their world, or become undefeatable when their thoughts are scattered like leaves in a storm? Controlling your emotions and achieving inner power might feel like a distant goal when the mind is restless and energy is wasted on noise. Every day we try to focus, only to find ourselves pulled away by our own inner monologue of fears and fleeting desires. Have you noticed how quickly irritation or anxiety rises when you cannot find peace amidst your routine? Perhaps at work, a single unkind word burrows into your core, spinning ceaselessly. At home, your heart races just thinking about tomorrow. You want to show up as your strongest self, attractive in composure, silent like an ancient mountain. But instead, you feel swept away by a current you cannot seem to resist. Deep down, you sense that there must be another way, a quieter path, a hidden wellspring from which you can draw true strength. This is where the journey of the Stoic sage begins, with the radical act of silencing the noise within. It is not about banishing thoughts or ignoring emotion. Rather, it is about stepping back, just as an archer draws the string, creating tension not on the outside, but within their center, cultivating focused stillness. The Stoics taught that only in silence can you observe, understand, and ultimately become greater than your impulses. Imagine your mind as a calm sea that reflects the sky. When the storms subside, even the faintest stars revealed clearly, and you can chart your course with precision and grace. The transformative solution, then, begins with seeking moments of purposeful quiet in your day. Instead of fighting your thoughts or attempting to conquer them with brute force, you surrender the need to engage with every inner noise. You choose instead to sit with yourself in acceptance, allowing storms to pass over without dragging you away. This act, gentle yet revolutionary, is the first key to emotional mastery. By embracing silence, you discover space between stimulus and response. You can greet each emotion without fear of being swept away, choosing which waves to ride and which to simply let slip beneath your boat. Here, you unlock your ability to watch as your mind races and gently guide it back onto course again and again, strengthening your inner calm with every attempt. The fire of discipline burns quietly in the soul that is no longer at war with itself. With regular practice of silencing the noise within, the storms begin to soften. Fears lose their grip, anxieties become mere echoes, and your core self, undaunted, logical, and unwavering, starts to emerge. This practice, both ancient and alive, transforms silence from emptiness to a powerful tool that shapes your day and your destiny. Mastery begins in the quiet, where true impact and the undefeated spirit of the Stoic are forged, ready to meet whatever the world brings. To begin, pause for a brief moment each morning and evening to sit quietly, breathing with focus and accepting whatever thoughts arise. Let them drift past without judgment and keep bringing your attention back to the present. With each practice, you strengthen your ability to stay calm when life grows chaotic, building inner power and composure. Notice how daily moments that once stirred your emotions lose their force, replaced by a grounded sense of calm and greater self-awareness. Starting today, devote just 5 minutes to this intentional stillness and track the peace it brings to your daily life. Remember, mastery comes step by step and grows with patient effort. Next, we'll explore how to sharpen your gaze by learning to observe before you react. If this lesson resonated, hit like, subscribe to Stoic Ruler, and share your journey or thoughts below to help build our community. Lesson 2. Observe before you react. Picture your mind as the calm surface of a mountain lake at dawn, so clear that the sky's first light is perfectly reflected on it. Just as any disturbance sends ripples spreading across the water, the reactions that spring from our emotions disturb the clarity of our lives. Each day we walk through a world fraught with triggers and unseen challenges. Words spoken in haste, events we cannot control, old wounds reopened by a careless look or a sharp tone. How often have you found yourself quick to anger, jealousy, or fear, only to look back and regret how swiftly you let emotions take command? Deep inside, there's a burning desire to master yourself in those moments, to remain composed and strong when life throws you into unexpected storms. This is an inner conflict almost everyone faces. It's a battle that plays out silently, sometimes a dozen times in a single morning. On the way to work, as someone cuts you off, at home when a family member's words sting unexpectedly, or alone, replaying a memory that riles up an old frustration. Our first instinct is reaction, driven by survival, a defense forged in deeper parts of our minds. Yet every uncontrolled reaction chips away at your peace and sense of control. The world can seem like a sea ruled by sudden squalls, tossing us without warning. Is it any wonder that genuine composure or emotional mastery feels so elusive, even for individuals striving for greatness? Every time you fight fire with fire, letting anger answer anger or fear shape your choices, you drift further from the person you long to become. Poised, respected, someone whose presence alone inspires calmness in others. Now, imagine the power gained by pausing before reacting, the skill of watching instead of yielding. It isn't cold indifference or bottling up your feelings, but rather the stance of a wise archer who studies the wind and measures his breath before losing the arrow. The solution lies in observation, consciously giving yourself a moment to register not just what is happening, but also how you feel and want to respond. Your mind, rather than acting as a battlefield, becomes that grounded mountain overlooking every change in the valley below. This simple yet powerful act is transformative. You raise a reflective shield, taking time to perceive the whole picture before deciding your next step. That deliberate pause is what separates fleeting reaction from lasting impact. Each time you observe first, you reclaim agency. You shift from being pulled by emotion to calmly steering your life. The core idea here is to build a habit of mindful awareness, a space between what happens and what you choose to do. In this pause, you discover freedom. You see yourself as both ship and captain, not tossed by every wave, but charting your own course even when the winds howl. This ancient wisdom practiced by Stoic sages is alive in each of us once awakened. Its benefits are immense. You become less predictable to your enemies, more attractive to those seeking strength, and utterly undefeated by circumstance. Over time, you will notice how the fire of anger lessens, how fear's voice quiets, how even heartbreaks become lessons instead of wounds. You train your mind every time you hold back just long enough to truly see, to breathe, to choose. This is not only an act of emotional control, it is the skill that unlocks your most powerful, silent self, a self the world cannot sway at its whim. To put this into practice, pause and take 3 deep breaths whenever a strong emotion arises, observing your thoughts and feelings before responding. As you do this, you'll experience greater calm, clarity, and confidence even in stressful moments. Start using this pause today and notice the freedom it brings. Next, you'll learn to question your initial thoughts. Like, subscribe to Stoic Ruler, and share your reflections below. Lesson 3. Question your initial thoughts. Inside every mind lies a secret chamber where first thoughts are born, swift, unfiltered, and often filled with the raw pulse of our deepest fears or hopes. Imagine a traveler caught in a sudden storm, rain lashing at their shoulders, wind howling in confusion. Our initial thoughts can be like those first cracking flashes of thunder, loud, immediate, convincing, and sometimes ultimately misleading. In moments of chaos, when news breaks suddenly or someone's words sting unexpectedly, this inner storm surges. We want to find solid ground, to trust what our mind serves up first as truth, yet something inside knows those first reactions may well lead us astray. The struggle is universal. Day by day, your mind throws interpretations at you before you can even blink. Judging a stranger's look, worrying over a single line in an email, assuming the worst if plans change unexpectedly. Have you ever felt the sting of rejection when a friend takes too long to reply, or anger flaring up at a driver's mistake, or fear creeping in when faced with something unfamiliar? So often you later realize those first thoughts were colored by past hurt or misplaced anxiety, not by what was actually happening. This reflex to believe and act on initial thoughts makes us prisoners of instinct, fighting battles that may not even need to be fought. When you let every first impression drive your emotions and decisions, you lose control, like a ship amazed by distant lightning and steering into rocks that aren't even there. Behind this pain point is a deep truth. Initial thoughts are not always the whole reality. Our minds, shaped by history, memory, bias, and emotion, often leap to quick judgments that protect or motivate us in the short term, but which might backfire long term. Living as a Stoic, as a master of emotional power, calls for something different. It asks you to become not just the first responder, but to rise as the wise judge in your own mental court. Here lies the solution. To practice questioning your initial thoughts before letting them decide your actions. If your mind is a silent room, those first ideas are whispers at the door. Before letting them in, pause and quietly ask, is this really true? Have I seen this clearly, or is something else possible? The art of questioning is the torch that lights the shadows where unhelpful beliefs lurk. Like an archer pausing before letting the arrow fly, you hold your first thought, turning it slowly in your hand, examining its edges and surface for truth or distortion. Does this thought help me remain composed, logical, and undefeated, or is it hooked to old fears and hidden assumptions? This is not harsh interrogation, but gentle inquiry, an act of self-respect. As you strengthen this practice, you unlock a clarity that makes you less reactive, more deliberate, and powerfully resilient in the face of life's storms. By challenging first thoughts, you open yourself to more helpful beliefs, creative solutions, and deeper empathy. Your inner life becomes less like a battlefield and more like a council of wise advisors, allowing you to choose the response that serves your highest goals. This wisdom, both ancient and astonishingly current, frees the silent fire within, helping you gain the composure and respect of a Stoic ruler and inspiring others with your steady presence. Whenever a strong thought or emotion appears, pause and ask yourself, is this belief true? What else could explain this? Practice this for a week and notice how your mood and decisions become calmer and wiser. Tomorrow, we'll explore the power of slow, intentional thinking. Subscribe, like, and share your experiences with Stoic Ruler in the comments. Lesson 4. Embrace slow, intentional thinking. Imagine standing at the edge of an ancient river, its waters moving not with haste but with measured grace, carving stone into smooth curves and reflecting the colors of the sky above. This current has no need for frenzy. Its power lies in its patience and its deliberate pace. So too does the mind of one who has committed to the path of the Stoic sage, a mind that refuses to be swept away by urgency, that finds strength in choosing to think slowly, with deep intention, even as the world races on restlessly by its side. This image speaks to a conflict that thrives within every one of us. In a world ruled by the quick replies, quick judgments, quick emotions, it feels almost impossible not to get carried away by the present moment's demands. You want to gain mastery over your emotions and actions, yet pressure builds and the urge to fix, respond, or defend yourself right away takes over, leaving regret in its wake. Late at night, perhaps, you replay conversations where you wish you'd chosen your words more thoughtfully, or you recount decisions made in the heat of frustration that didn't serve your true purpose. You promise yourself to do better the next time trouble appears, but real change seems hard to make when everything around you is pushing for speed. This urgency, though sometimes useful, becomes a subtle trap. We live surrounded by little alarms: the vibration of the phone, the ping of a message, the ticking of the clock. Waiting can feel like weakness. Hesitation can seem like failure. But behind these minor alarms grow thickets of anxiety, shallow reasoning, and ever-mounting stress. Have you noticed how easy it is to become worn down, to feel tired from running after your emotions or reacting to every small interruption? Shortcuts in thinking lead to short tempers and shallow happiness. And letting life rush you denies you the peace that comes with true reflection. The hurried mind can find itself hopelessly tangled, longing for the quiet certainty of the silent Stoic, but unsure how to slow the surging current. The antidote to this modern storm is the discipline of embracing slow, intentional thinking. It's about gently pulling yourself out of the unchecked flow, pausing at the crossroads before you act, and allowing a stillness to form in your thoughts so you can truly see where each decision leads. This wisdom is old as the stars, but new in every moment you choose it. It could be as small as counting to 5 before you answer a sharp comment, or setting aside just a few minutes a day to sit quietly with your thoughts, sorting them as a jeweler studies each stone for clarity and worth. When you take time to think slowly, like a seasoned captain scanning the horizon before steering his ship through hidden reefs, you train your mind to pierce distractions and find safe passage. Embracing intentional reflection allows your emotional control to deepen and focus. Before responding to irritation, you can breathe and ask, how do I wish to show up in this moment? Before chasing a fleeting desire or giving in to a surge of fear, you can gently question, does this move me closer to who I want to become? The benefits are profound. You catch the fleeting opportunity to direct your inner fire, unlocking greater confidence and wisdom. What once seemed like weakness, slowing down, pausing, refusing a hasty answer becomes your defining strength. The world notices, your presence grows magnetic, your words gather weight, and your choices lead to a life full of meaning rather than regret. Every slow, intentional thought is like laying one more stone in the pathway to becoming truly undefeatable, silently training your mind to respond with courage, clarity, and lasting impact. This ability to wait, weigh, and then act does not dull your spirit, it sharpens it, until, like the river that shapes the stone, you carve your legacy in the world with patient power. To apply this lesson, pause before every important decision, take 5 steady breaths, and ask yourself what outcome you truly want. Practice this whenever pressured or rushed. This habit will sharpen your judgment, deepen your calm, and reveal new paths forward. In the next lesson, you'll learn to examine life through logic. Subscribe, like, and share your progress below. Lesson 5. Examine life through logic. Picture a lantern burning steadily in the heart of a thick night, its light slicing through shadow, bringing clarity where confusion once reigned. In moments of chaos, this lantern is the trained mind, disciplined and deliberate, capable of separating truth from illusion and calm from chaos. For many seeking emotional mastery and self-discipline, the desire to move through life with certainty is powerful. Yet the way ahead is so often obscured by clouds of emotion and half-formed beliefs. You want to master your reactions, to unlock the composure that Stoics are known for, but some part of you feels dragged by invisible currents of feeling, unsure how to regain direction when storms hit. At the core of this struggle is a tension between passion and reason, heart and head. We all know what it is like to be flooded with emotion. A rude comment triggers self-doubt, a challenging situation raises fear, or an unexpected change brings anger, sadness, or anxiety. It is natural to feel deeply, but emotions, vivid as they are, tend to push for dominance, urging us to act on impulse instead of intent. The mind, overwhelmed by this noise, can be pulled far from calmly considered action, and what follows are choices made in haste and regret seeded for later nights. If you look at your own history, you may find patterns. Decisions taken when stressed or upset, words spoken during emotional turmoil, hopes dashed by momentary panic. These all point to a common human challenge: the need for a wiser way forward, one less clouded by momentary urges and more attuned to quiet strength. Here, the Stoic solution arrives with piercing simplicity and ancient wisdom. Make logic your guide. Emotions may feel like wild rivers after heavy rain, but logic is what builds bridges through those floods. When you examine life through logic, you refuse to be driven only by the swirling intensity of feelings. Instead, like a seasoned sailor studying both his charts and the sky, you step back, observe, and use reason to plot your course. This is not about suppressing emotion or denying what feels true in the heat of the moment. It is about inviting a different voice to the council, the voice of reason, able to weigh evidence, ask questions, and reveal reality in finer detail. Imagine, for instance, being faced with harsh criticism at work or disappointment in a relationship. The emotional wave rises, fierce and immediate, but you catch yourself before responding. You ask quietly, what do I know for certain? What assumptions am I making? What objective facts are in front of me? These gentle but persistent questions, grounded in logic, diffuse the charge of panic, self-pity, or defensiveness, giving you room to craft a response aligned with courage and confidence. This ability helps you become unattached to fleeting drama and rooted in an undefeated state of mind. Over time, your mind sharpens, stress wanes, and you unlock the art of self-restraint. Decisions are colored less by anxiety, more by clarity. Even those around you start to notice. You become more measured, deeply attractive in your steadiness, able to influence with the quiet impact only a silent Stoic possesses. By consistently using logic as your lantern, every challenging moment transforms into a chance to train your mind and walk life's path with certainty and poise, as the great Stoics always intended. Whenever you feel overwhelmed, pause and list the facts, examining what you know versus what you assume. Use this logical filter before making choices. Practicing this will bring you clarity, confidence, and unshakable composure. Try it today and watch your mind grow steadier. Next, we'll align thoughts with core values. Subscribe, like, and share your growth with Stoic Ruler. Lesson 6. Align thoughts with core values. Imagine walking through a dense, ancient forest as dusk approaches. The narrow path ahead disappears into overlapping shadows, and the only thing that guides you is the unwavering glow of your lantern, steady, golden, and loyal through any gloom. In this journey, your lantern is your set of core values. Those principles you choose not because the world demands them, but because you know, deep inside, they are right for you. Many wish for such clarity. They crave the confidence and self-respect that comes from always knowing which way is home. And yet so much of life is spent doubting, hesitating, or drifting off course, especially in moments of emotional turmoil or when the pressures of the day threaten to sweep us away. This conflict emerges whenever our circumstances challenge who we want to be versus who we are in moments of stress. Everyone has experienced this inner struggle. Perhaps you swore to stay calm during arguments, committed to speaking only with honesty, or told yourself you would stay true to kindness even when met with rudeness or disrespect. But when the storm comes, when tempers ignite or anxiety spikes, those promises seem to vanish, lost amid the rising wind of impulse and habit. Why do we fall so quickly from the standards we set for ourselves? It's because in the heat of the moment, thoughts scatter. The mind leaps to defend pride or bends to fit the demands of others, temporarily forgetting what truly matters. This is not failure, but a sign that the map and the journey are out of sync. Most people drift farthest from their values not out of malice, but out of forgetfulness brought by chaos or fatigue. Over time, this gap breeds disappointment and regret, letting you feel weak or untrustworthy, haunted by the sense that you could be so much more. The solution to this conflict, and the secret of Stoic rulers and sages, is the active alignment of your thoughts with your core values, especially when tested by emotion. Imagine that same forest, but now, whenever the path disappears or branches confuse your way, you turn back to the lantern and let its beam decide every step. This is the practice of pausing, recalling who you most desire to be, calm, fair, courageous, kind, and testing each thought as it arises. Does this thinking serve my highest goal, or does it steer me away? You become like the skilled archer who, before releasing his arrow, checks his aim by the noblest truth he knows. This is not about being perfect or denying natural emotion. It is about remembering and returning again and again to what anchors your best self. Aligning your thoughts with your values has life-changing benefits. Decisions become consistent, not just with your mood, but with your purpose. Emotional storms lose their power to sway you wildly because each reaction is checked against a higher ideal. Suddenly, your words and actions grow sharper and more reliable. Trust follows, not only from others but also from yourself, dissolving the old fear that you might betray your own standards. In relationships, work, or crisis, you stand out, the calm ship amid noisy waves, the silent stoic who shines not for being cold or detached, but for radiant integrity. This way of thinking unlocks courage, quiet strength, and magnetic clarity. It offers peace within and a sense of standing undefeated even when the world itself is uncertain. Over time, you'll see that aligning thoughts and values is less about monumental acts and more about daily practice, gentle but unwavering, like tending forever to the flame that guides you through both storm and calm. Start by identifying your top 3 core values, then pause during challenges and ask if your thoughts and responses honor those ideals. Practicing this creates deep self-trust, resilience, and a clear sense of direction. Begin today and watch your confidence grow. Next, we'll explore daily reflection with purpose. Subscribe, like, and share your insights with the Stoic Ruler community below. Lesson 7. Reflect daily with purpose. Picture a skilled blacksmith at the close of day, sitting quietly by the warm embers of his fire, examining each tool he has forged and every mark left on the anvil. The quiet is deep, mingled with memory and the promise of tomorrow's work. It is in these moments of pure reflection that both mistakes and triumphs come into view, each becoming a stepping stone for the next act of mastery. In our lives too, only through daily and purposeful reflection do we begin to see ourselves as we truly are, shapeshifters and creators, quietly sculpting the legacy of our own souls. The conflict you may often feel is the tension between experience and understanding. Time and challenges move quickly. One day races into the next. You toil, strive, react, and occasionally stumble, but rarely do you pause long enough to ask, what did I do well? Where did I drift from my purpose? Most people move through their days following habit rather than intention, brushing past their wins or mistakes without stopping to draw out their lessons. This leaves a vague restlessness, a nagging sense that growth is possible, but direction is unclear. In the quest for emotional mastery and self-discipline, perhaps your progress feels slow. You keep making the same errors or find lingering frustrations in your relationships and goals. You sense that there's wisdom hiding in what you've already lived, but it remains locked away, just out of reach. Every ship needs a compass, and every stronghold needs a watchtower. For the Stoic seeker, purposeful reflection is both. The problem is not that growth isn't happening, but that unexamined growth is erratic. It doubles back, repeats itself, or loses momentum. Vital lessons slip through the cracks when days blur together, and you find yourself discouraged by patterns that never seem to break. Wouldn't it be powerful to harness every day, to turn your smallest victories and setbacks into the fuel for becoming undefeatable? Reflection, though ancient in its roots, offers this gift: to slow down when the world is loud, to steal a moment for your soul amid life's rush, and to transform silent moments into wells of self-understanding and resolve. The transformative solution, then, is to make purposeful daily reflection a non-negotiable part of your life, a true ritual that marks the end of each day. This isn't about judgment or endless self-critique, but about honest, compassionate observation. The process is simple and deeply impactful. Carve even 5 quiet minutes for yourself and gently ask what the day brought, what went well, what you learned, where your thoughts and actions aligned with your deepest values, and where they slipped away. Celebrate small progresses as much as you acknowledge the need for course correction, remembering that the silent Stoic improves by inches, not by leaps. Over time, these sincere moments of reflection unlock momentum that cannot be forced from the outside. You become the archer whose eye grows sharper with every attempt, the ship's captain who learns from each voyage, turning storms and setbacks into guides for the days ahead. Through this ritual, you gradually unlock a storehouse of emotional intelligence and wisdom, concealed fire that grows stronger each evening and lights your course anew the next morning. Barriers that once felt immutable begin to fall away. Your confidence grows, self-doubt recedes, and clarity floods in where confusion used to dwell. This slow mastery, reinforced night after night, is the essence of self-discipline and inner power. Daily reflection is the gentle discipline that transforms mistakes into strengths and ambitions into steady becoming, letting you move beyond fear and into genuine mastery, always guided by the unwavering flame of self-awareness. Every evening, set aside 5 minutes in silence to review your actions, thoughts, and feelings with honesty and kindness. Record one insight or lesson gained. Practiced routinely, this seeds unshakable confidence and wisdom for the next day. Reflection is your path to continuous growth. Begin tonight and witness your quiet transformation, step by purposeful step, into your strongest self. You've just journeyed through the essential habits of a Stoic sage, learning to master your emotions, cultivate inner calm, and build purposeful self-discipline. Thank you for sharing your valuable time and energy with this lesson. If you found value here, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel for more Stoic insights.